Your design are always making the people pursue it. The question is, does it do it in an ethical or a manipulative way? Because each and every pixels or the buttons, it's going to push the behavior of the people, whether you really mean it intentionally or not. The point here is many people don't know how to use these behavioral nudges in a very, very careful way. In UX design, particularly with respect to marketing, with respect to landing pages, campaigns, advertisement, people have to really understand before designing this. In this video, I'm going to be telling you about the behavioral and the nudges what a UX designer can able to create for the product and how we can able to hook the customer in a more ethical way and what exactly is the concept behind it and what are the mistakes around it. Let's see it in the full detail. Okay, so what is mean by behavioral nudge? Nudge is equal to a gentle push towards making a better decision. Have you ever bought a popcorn which is in the medium size or a large size or a small size? Can you look at the pricing? The pricing will be like the bigger popcorn will be a little bit smaller. The prices will be a little difference between the mid and the bigger one. So what happens is naturally our mind tend to say, hey, if I'm able to afford a mid-size popcorn for $2 or maybe like let's say 100 rupees, the big size popcorn itself is 110 rupees. If I afford 10 rupees extra, I can able to buy a bigger popcorn. Naturally, our mind thinks that way. That is like a little bit nudging the user to go and do it. It's all based on the choice hierarchy theory. There is something called a decoyer effect. When you have a third product in between the second, when you have a third product and when you put the second product in between, this becomes a push and a nudge for the people to buy the third. And this is like exactly called the decoyer effect. Okay, this shapes the behavioral ethically, not manipulatively, and works through the cognitive bias, and it is very subtle over the path, not in a forceful way. So the background behind this is nudge theory was actually designed, first invented by Richard Thaler and Cass Sunstein in 2008. And it was adopted by many government policies and technology and tech companies. Even if you go to any kind of a airport, like let's say not in India, in the abroad countries, I've observed this experimental what they've did. I'm not sure about which airport it is. It is Heathrow or some other airport where the urinary leaks was very high in the toilet of the male in that facade. Okay, so what happened is people tend to put some kind of a stickers of the bees or maybe stickers of the ant or something. Okay, stickers. So what happened is when people are shooting that urine on that basin, so people get a point, people get a target, people get exactly the way in which they have to shoot it. Now the leakages have come really down. The cleaning and maintenance cost have really come down. It's just a small behavioral nudge, but that pushed the people. So everywhere people are using it. In fact, this is called the core behavioral idea of behavioral economics. It's called as a B. Many people don't know this topic in design. This is called behavioral economics, and now used in UX for decision simplicity, and commonly used in fintech, edutech, healthcare applications. So this is a quite small background of it. And of course, you must have understood the importance of it. This helps the user makes the informed decision, build the trust through the overall process and not like a command. And it increases the conversions without manipulation. This creates the inclusive and mindful experiences. And this is one of the great way to ethically differentiate your product, right or not? This is very important. Many people don't get that. Okay, Jagdish, what are the types of nudges? It's very super, guys. Nudge is a very important topic and it's very interesting. There is something called default nudge. Like let's say whether you select or not, people have already given the call to action to delete the button. Like let's say when you delete an app, where is the default option going? Delete. Or maybe in the other side, like let's say when you use Mac OS or when you use any other iOS applications, you'll find that the default option comes in never. Not okay. Why? Because intentionally also sometimes people presses the option of delete. So the interface is making you nudge that, hey, do you really want to delete this? The default option lies in not. If you consciously decide to delete it, it will go. Sometimes even by clicking the blue button, people delete the option, right? So that is why Apple has invented that. Apple has understood this error which users can make, and then they've created that. This is called default nudge. Second is called reminder nudge. Periodically, how the users can able to switch off. Like let's say there is an option called screen time. Like let's say even if I'm able to open this, there is a screen time available. So this particular option helps our users to understand where exactly the screen time can be reduced. Can all of you see this? Where exactly the screen time can be reduced? See, the reminders keep popping out. So this is one of the way. Third, goal nudge. Like let's say when you have a milestone, when you reach this 5,000 points, automatically this level will unlock. This game will open up. The new module will open up. So you have a goal and you nudge the user. Next is called social nudge, where others also choose this. Like let's say the point is, if you're all using this particular feature, then others will also be able to see this. When you post it in a social, others will also be able to donate for this social cause. So you nudge the society using this behavior. And next is called emotional nudge. It's very subtle, but it will create a more emotional background for the product or the choice what you're making. Okay, like let's say this is mostly used as a motivation. Like let's say, hey, you are now getting into a very high pace of your game and intensity. Now you have to gear up and you have to put in your full heart and soul to play this game. See, now the emotion is built. You nudge the people through that. So the first is default nudge, reminder nudge, goal nudge, social nudge, and emotional nudge. These are all the way in which you can able to do. There are many common mistakes also designers do. Sometimes they overuse this FOMO, which creates actually insecurity and scarcity for the people. And sometimes guilt driven micro copy damages authenticity. If you too much write the email copy or marketing campaign in that way, it creates a mistrust. Sometimes it misaligns the tone with the brand value, and the product value is being completely perceived wrongly. People think it's just a marketing push, right? Not an ethical marketing way. Nudges uses Nudges used without feedback testing. Sometimes it is really, really bad. Dark pattern disguides the user. Nudges. I already told that in the yesterday video as well. So we need to get the background of it. Nudges activate the dopamine and creates the oxytocin circuit inside your brain. It reassures the brand and builds the trust using that hormone. Yes, this is very, very important. You feel very happy, motivated, oxytocin produces, and then you build naturally trust for the product. Urgency triggers adrenaline and anxiety. Balances messaging, calms cortisol. So balanced messaging calms the cortisol level. Like let's say when you have a nudge in a more balanced way, you tend to balance the people emotion and it calms the cortisol levels as well, right? Cortisol is one thing which has been measured during our stress states. Like let's say this has been used in medical fields. When you have the person, like let's say if you have to really ask him, hey, are you really frustrated or not? How will you go and ask him? He is sleeping in the bed. You need a measurement, right? People has this measurement called cortisol, and then they measure this thing, and you can also use it for UX. And emotionally aligned design creates retention for the user to come back again and again and again to your product. Now let us understand the example. Like let's say banking application users avoid saving feature. Like let's say banking application with the users avoided saving feature. Like let's say when you are having this option towards no option of savings, what happens? You are now making the user 90% reach to your goal, or 80% reach to your goal, or 30% reach to your goal. So the user will have completely the like let's say a target towards, hey, I'm very close to my goal. Now he's been nudged towards that. And more importantly, when you gamify this with an encouragement, like let's say points or rewards or cashback, you also make the user release the oxytocin. And savings participation increases in the 27% in the last 4 weeks. So this makes the user also increase their saving potential. Have you seen application with respect to like let's say I will open this application called Razorpay. Okay, have you seen this Razorpay application? So this will create something like this. Can all of you see here? Yeah, current balance, today's settlement, and something like it will also show you compared to the last week, the payment has been come down. It is like 33% it has come down, 21% it has come down. Can all of you see the graph? This will nudge the user to also take a decision better. Can all of you see? For refund is there, this much payment has been success and it has come down compared to the last week. So you will also come to know that the trend is really, really getting reduced and we have to increase our payments more. See, this is a way to also positively put. Can all of you see here? This is also a positive way to nudge your user to take a decision better, to earn more, or maybe to get their money rotation more for a business owner. So, user reported emotional connection to your progress. So, this is exactly what is the case study. And there are many tools to also measure this. ChatGPT is, of course, a great tool to also create ethical nudge copy. When you are having a product, you copy paste it into ChatGPT and ask to create a copy around it. Many people don't know how to create a micro copy. This is where exactly you can use this tools called chat gpt, and you can use this tool called pendo and Mixpanel to have a behavioral analytics. And also you can feed it back to chat gpt feedback to chat gpt, and also start writing micro copy of it. You can use this thing called brace nudge delivery orchestration. You can use notion AI to find out the user journey nudge mapping. You can also use this tool called UXprecia to visualize the behavioral flow. And also you can use this Google sentimental analysis to find out what exactly is your user going through. So utilize these tools. It will be really helpful for you to learn and nudge your user. Of course, you can read this book called Nudge by Thaler and Sustain. You can read this book called Hooked by Nir Arial. You can use a lot of case studies from Nielsen Norman Group for behavioral UX research. You can also read this BJ Fogg's Tiny Habits Framework. You can read this thing called IDEO Behavioral Change Playbook. It is easily downloadable and it's free of cost in the online. You can also read this book called Habits by Carl Duhigg. You can also find, like, let's say, a lot of you can also find a lot of nudges and behavior change historically happened. This is going to be a real advantage for someone who wants to know the complete science and biology and the background behind it. Super. Now, what I wanted to tell you is please DM me with nudge in the chat box wherever you're watching this in the YouTube or podcast or Spotify. You have been in the Instagram. Please type nudge. I will be able to send you a nudge design matrix how you can check whether your product has been enough cleared with the nudge probably. Okay. And more importantly, tomorrow we are going to see micro copy and emotional influence of it. Okay. Because influence built with empathy, not with a proper manipulation, not with the improper unethical manipulation. Okay, let's wait for that content. And more importantly, I wanted to take your game into next level by inviting you to my 4 hours design was workshop where the link is available. You can able to just pay 99 rupees to come into the workshop where I will be also teaching you all this concept, but I'll be teaching you how you can use this in your portfolio to start pitching for the design organizations where you can get 3x salary and growth towards it. Some of our students have applied this methodology to get 15 lpa, 20 lpa, 30 lpa. Some of them are even going to reach 1 cr as a salary. So attend this workshop to know the magic behind it and take it to the next level. See you again in the day 24. I want to get you more topic with respect to the human body system. Just to reiterate, we've been splitting our human body into multiple systems, and this week 4 we are splitting this body into endocrine. In this endocrine, we saw just a nudge and behavior. Tomorrow we'll see another topic. Bye bye. Thank you.